Welcome to Had6 channel. In this video, we will look into highfalutin. 16 adjectives with similar meanings will be reviewed in example sentences. Let's get started. Number 1. High-sounding, which means of language or ideas extravagant and grand. High-sounding. For example, high-sounding moralism. Number 2. Declamatory, which means vehement or impassioned in expression. Declamatory. For example, a long declamatory speech. Number 3. Ornate, which means of literary style using unusual words and complex constructions. Ornate. For example, peculiarly ornate and metaphorical language. Number 4. Pretentious, which means attempting to impress by affecting greater importance or merit than is actually possessed. Pretentious. For example, Clytemnestra is a pretentious name for a dog. Number 5. Flowery, which means of speech or writing full of elaborate or literary words and phrases. Flowery. For example, his flowery language made no impression. Number 6. Turgid, which means of language or style tediously pompous or bombastic. Turgid. For example, some turgid verses on the death of Prince Albert. Number 7. Tumid, which means especially of language or literary style pompous or bombastic. Tumid. For example, tumid oratory. Number 8. Orotund, which means of writing, style, or expression pompous or pretentious. Orotund. For example, the orotund rhetoric of his prose. Number 9. Oratorical, which means relating to the art or practice of public speaking. Oratorical. For example, oratorical skills. Number 10. Bombastic, which means high-sounding but with little meaning. Bombastic. For example, Howard really was the most bombastic prig. Number 11. Affected, which means artificial, pretentious, and designed to impress. Affected. For example, he was talking in the rather affected boom he used with strangers. Number 12. Sonorous, which means of a speech or style using imposing language. Sonorous. For example, he relished the sonorous words of condemnation. Number 13. High-flown, which means especially of language or ideas extravagant and grand-sounding. High-flown. For example, he had other more high-flown artistic notions in mind. Number 14. Pompous, which means affectedly grand, solemn, or self-important. Pompous. For example, pompous language. Number 15. Florid, which means excessively intricate or elaborate. Florid. For example, a florid, Baroque building. Number 16. Rhetorical, which means expressed in terms intended to persuade or impress. Rhetorical. For example, he had a tendency to engage in rhetorical hyperbole. What do you think of these synonyms? Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Moreover, you can follow the channel by hitting the subscription button.